Now there's a way to check if you violated Instagram's community guidelines and limits. There are more ways to violate it than you might think, content, activity, and more. And in this video, I'll go through daily account limits for liking, following, and commenting, and share exactly what to do if you are worried that Instagram has shadow banned, blocked, or flagged your account. Stay with me. I'm Phil Pallen, a brand strategist. Welcome to my channel where I share practical advice to build your brand. Today I'm in Lisbon, Portugal, and I'm tackling a very important topic today if you're active on Instagram, which is a lot of us. In fact, I've made a lot of videos about Instagram in the past, and I think this is one of the most important videos I've made to date. Along with a slew of other new features, which I talk about in a recently published video, which I'll link to somewhere over here. Lots of new features, including the ability to check your account status. That's what we're talking about. While it doesn't sound overly exciting, check your account status. It's actually really important because there are 7 ways to violate Instagram's community guidelines. You need to know these so that you can stay in the right side of the rules. I'll go through those things in a moment. First, let's grab your phone, go to Settings, Account, and if you have this new feature, you're going to see Account Status between close friends and language. If you don't see it there yet on your phone, know that the feature is probably coming soon, but it just hasn't arrived to your account yet. If you do have it, you can see the standing of your account as well as any potential violations to their community guidelines in the past. So now let's talk about those community guideline violations, what they actually are. Let's start with the first one. Violation number 1, spam. Instagram calls this creating and sending unwanted emails, messages, comments, and likes, and it's not allowed. Any behavior in excess would also be included in spam, including following, unfollowing, liking, DMing, or commenting too many times in a single day or a period of time. What are the specific limits of these activities? Well, Instagram has not ever officially published those limits, but there are estimates, and I'm going to share those with you right now. For likes, it's estimated that Instagram will count it as spam if you give more than 120 likes in an hour or more than 500 likes in a day. For comments, it's estimated that Instagram will count it as spam if you give more than 200 comments in a day. For follows, more than 60 in an hour or more than 150 in a day. Same for unfollows, more than 60 in an hour, more than 150 in a day. Again, these are just estimates or guidelines, not official numbers. Those official numbers are not known. Finally, Instagram may see more than 100 DMs per hour as spam. Initiating DMs, not replying to people, that doesn't count in this. So 10 DMs per hour or 50 DMs per day initiated. Of course, it's going to depend on every single account and the algorithm. Finally, it's estimated that combined actions, so you combine all of these together, if they're in excess of 500 per day, Instagram is likely to flag it as spam. So stay well below those estimated figures and you should be fine. That's how to avoid violating Instagram's first community policy with spam. Let's keep going and I'll move faster through the remaining possible violations. Violation number 2, intellectual property. If you share something you don't own or have the rights to share, you can get into some trouble. It's always good practice to credit the creator of the content that you repost, but even then, that doesn't necessarily indicate that you have permission to share someone else's content. I'm not going to go into great detail on this topic in this video because we have 5 more violations to get through, but I am going to share a recent podcast episode with IP attorney Mark Wright, a great friend of mine who talks very specifically about this. If you're interested in IP and social media, I recommend giving it a listen. I've linked to that episode below. It's episode 146 of Brand Therapy. How do you protect yourself as an entrepreneur? And in general, last thought on this topic, just make sure you have the rights to post the content that you share. It's really that simple. When in doubt, ask permission if you didn't create it. And if you ensure that, you probably won't have any chance of violating this community guideline. Let's keep going. Violation number 3, appropriate imagery, also known as nudity. Not allowed on Instagram, but there are some exceptions. Photos of post-mastectomy scarring and women actively breastfeeding is allowed. Nudity in photos of paintings and sculptures is also permitted too. But outside of that, such as anything sexual or overly suggestive, there's a good chance it will be removed by Instagram for violating this specific community guideline called appropriate imagery. Violation number 4, illegal content. Kind of goes without saying, but Instagram does not condone posting anything that breaks the law, and if it does, it will be likely to be removed quick. Specifically on this, Instagram says that they don't allow support or praise of terrorism, organized crime, or hate groups, offering sexual services or selling firearms and drugs, also prohibited. So that covers lots of things that shouldn't be posted on Instagram, or really done in real life too, because they're illegal. So don't do it. Moving on. Violation 5, hate speech, bullying, and abuse. Along the lines of what I just described, Instagram is very clear about their stance on removing what could be considered credible threats of violence, hate speech, and the targeting of private individuals. In their words, Instagram does not allow attacks or abuse based on race, ethnicity, national origin, sex, gender identity, sexual orientation, religion, disability, or disease. Not allowing this is a wonderful thing. What else won't they allow? That's violation number 6, graphic content. Instagram actively removes videos or images of intense graphic violence to make sure that Instagram stays appropriate for everyone. However, there is a big exception to this rule. If something is shared in relation to important and newsworthy events, if it's deemed that, it may be allowed. And if a graphic image is shared to condemn or raise awareness and educate, it may be allowed. You've likely seen before where an image is blurred out of vision and you have to accept to view it. You're warned. That might be added in these instances. Finally, we've arrived at the last one. Violation 7, self-harm. Instagram does not allow, and I quote, glorification or encouragement of self-injury, including eating disorders. However, they do allow content that references self-injury and eating disorders if it is for the purpose of raising awareness. That is our 7th and final violation. Now, it's important that you as a content creator, you've taken some time to get familiar with what's allowed and what isn't, and now you know how to check the status of your account to make sure that everything is all good. I've linked to the podcast episode that I mentioned earlier on IP, as well as Instagram's official statement on its community guidelines below. Go ahead and check it out for yourself. If you've got any lingering questions, comment below. Let's keep the conversation going on down there. I respond to those comments personally, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. That helps other people discover these videos, which I work hard to create for you, and subscribe for more of my videos on branding, positioning, building, and promoting your brand. Next, I'm sharing through a few videos that I think you'll be interested in, all Instagram specific. I'm Phil Pallen. Thanks for watching, and those videos are coming up next.